has nothing to do with mind. Mind is not knowledge, and mind is not experience. Mind is something that works in our brain, that when we see something we like the screen, or we like the chairs, or we like this environment, then there's so-called sensation happening. So we enjoy it, we like it, and when we like what we experience, then we begin to set our mind. So when you like the idea of more openness and transparency, so let me ask you again, who likes openness and transparency? I think we had just a few. Okay, now it's coming more. Thank you. Guys, this is simple mindset. You know, I asked something and we had rare numbers of hands risen, because the mind was not quite set to actually answer it. It wasn't about that you don't like openness, but the mind was not set to embrace it, to be public about it, said, I want it. Now we talked about our culture, and now you feel more comfortable in expressing yourself. And your mind, it's you who set your mind, not me, it's no brainwash. It's you who felt, well, it may be appropriate now to raise my hands too. And so mindset is a very long-lasting process, meaning it takes a while. It takes many of these events to discuss, to do it, and it takes the total freedom. I mean, your freedom to say, this is me, this is my mind. So, and I'm particularly thankful for the question, because we were discussing this the other day about China. I mean, China is seen by the rest of the world as the new rising star. I mean, what they did is absolutely remarkable, no question. What they haven't done yet, they have not brought forward a single innovation. I mean, you know, Huawei is a very innovative product, but there was the iPhone before, so they just improved it. But at least in what I've seen in the world, there was no product wildly created in China by some totally nuts people who said, well, we can do that. Because the culture was, and still is, drill. You have to do this. We have to be better. You have to be faster. You need to do all this. And people are able to do that. So more production, more delivery, more export, lower price. Oh, holy moly, now our environment sucks. We have air pollution. Okay, air pollution down, no matter what it costs, and it works. So it is brute force success. And there is something like that also in Silicon Valley. You pump a startup with hundreds of millions of dollars, they will be at the end successful for that moment. But 10 or 15 years later, they will just dive down, nose down, because it isn't their mind that has created, because the mind is free. So as soon as you have a free mind and people don't tell you what to do and how to do it, there is a small number of you, the true entrepreneurs, who come up with innovative ideas because you just can, because there's nobody stopping you. And so this mindset is part of a culture of any society in the world. If embraced, and there's freedom for people to express themselves, to make mistakes, to be open, even though most are used to not be open, that is the point in time where all of a sudden people come with ideas from deep in their structure that are new and are truly innovative. But at the end of the day, it's you who set your mind and make this list of things what you think, yeah, this is good to do, and you do it yourself. It must be from you. I mean, if I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the new mindset is this. This is how you should think. It will not work. Because our minds are still free and will be forever. And this is why, I mean, the US is typically this freedom country, even though it has unfortunately changed a lot. Did that sort of answer the question, at least in part? No? Then I think the workshop we are doing on Monday may help to answer the question, because setting the mind is, again, this is a very personal thing in our brain. So what we want is setting our mind. So nobody else can do that. So there is no, how to say that, no formula to set somebody else's mind. The formula is to give the freedom that everybody can do this for themselves. And with that, there are people who come with crazy ideas. You know? Maybe we have coffee or so to explore this a little bit further. At some point? Yeah?
One more question, or do you want to put the questions at the end? I'm here, okay.
Sure.
Thank you. I'm not good at English. Can I ask you some questions in Vietnamese?
Okay.
Okay.
Cái vấn đề của em muốn đặt ra, cái thứ nhất là cái vấn đề em suy nghĩ khoảng 4-5 năm nay rồi về cái vấn đề là tương lai của loài người sẽ như thế nào, thì sẽ phát triển như thế nào. Cái này thì nhiều người sẽ nghĩ là hơi điên rồ một chút xíu.
Vâng, vui vâng.
Rồi em muốn hỏi một chút là như thế này, thì theo em suy nghĩ, cái quan điểm của em suy nghĩ đấy, thì con người có những cái rào cản để không thể phát triển được một cách mà mạnh mẽ. Cái thứ nhất là rào cản con người, cái thứ nhất là về tuổi tác. Con người chỉ sống được đến khoảng 80 tuổi là sau đấy có nghĩa là không tiếp tục nữa, thì cái người đấy ngã xuống thì toàn bộ cái tư duy
Gọn lại bạn ơi,
ngắn
lại dừng lại.
có nghĩa là tuổi thọ con người rất là ngắn. Sau khi người ta chết đi thì cái tư duy của người ta tất cả
Bạn
những
hỏi
cái
cho bạn hỏi đi nhé, bạn hỏi luôn.
hỏi luôn.
Đúng rồi.
Có nghĩa là những rào cản đấy bây giờ có nghĩa là định nghĩa là con người là gì, là cái thứ nhất. Thì theo như em định nghĩa con người chính là toàn bộ cái tư duy ở trong não bộ của mình, có thể từ trước đây ở trong cái
Hỏi đi bạn. Con người là gì?
Thì có thể cái tương lai con người có thể là đồng nhất giữa con người và máy móc, để mang chung một cái tư duy, một cái tư tưởng để mình có thể mình thừa kế một cái cơ thể khác khỏe mạnh hơn, sống lâu hơn, để mình có thể mình phát triển được theo cái hướng đấy. Chứ như thế này, ví dụ mình có
Bạn hỏi xong chưa? Câu hỏi là để bạn có câu thời gian.
Ok, câu hỏi của em như vậy, anh có thể tóm gọn lại rồi giải thích giùm em không?
Dạ, con người là thoáng bao giờ chưa xong.
So the question is, what is the future of human being? Can we be like, because a little bit of the age of the people, so we have to die, and so is it the future of human being is we come to be a cyborg or something like that? Do you have any idea for that?
Okay, I'm happy to answer that question, and I try to make it very short in order to not ruin the evening. No cyborgs, because we will have more intelligent solutions than being a cyborg. If you look at the human brain, and we compare AI with brains, I mean, that's probably where the question comes from. Intelligence in our brain is a fraction of the power of our brain, number one. Number two, we're able to compute things in our brain in only 200 milliseconds versus a computer in nanoseconds. But the energy consumption, if we're doing this all day long, is an apple, a bread, maybe water, and a little bit of air. It's a fraction of the energy consumption of these computer systems that we have, not only today, but probably the prognosis for the next 50 or 100 years. So we don't know what's in 10,000 years, of course, but the human brain is far underestimated today by all means, and so we're not seeing ourselves as a cyborg in the next, I would say, 100 to 200 years. We will probably age 500 or 800 years, 1,000, 2,000, theoretically become, actually, survive forever. That's possible. but we do this with a biological body that we enhance rather than a motoric body or a mental body. That seems today the obvious solution, but we won't. There's so many more smart ideas already on the market, so I think we're good with what we have. By the way, my goal is 180, and I said this for 20 years ago? I wrote in a blog post that I want to be 180, and I had all the reasons to do that. So people laughed at me. I mean, they said, actually, you know, you're crazy, but yeah, keep on rocking. I mean, people, it was back then, it was ridiculous. 5 years later, I think it was Washington Mutual said, the first person who turns 130 lives already today. And today we know we can have, I mean, theoretically infinite life. So it's a very interesting topic, and I would love to have actually a meetup about that. But I think in the interest of time, we should kind of cut it here. Is it okay? Go.
Can I have questions over here? Yeah, I've been waiting.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Leah, and I'm the founder of the initiative Teaching Women to Code. And the first time when I come back to Vietnam, I see in many women in tech events, none of the women know how to code or even have like a basic coding skill. So my vision is to create the first coding hackathon for women in Vietnam. But on the way, there's many doubts, even my self-doubts. And sometimes I'm not feeling so sure if Vietnam is really ready for it, or the job market is really ready for it. So I want to ask for your wisdom, your advice. How do you make a decision and resilience moving forward in uncertainty and doubts?
So shall I answer the question, or will you answer the question?
Yes,
Okay, so I'm really
entrepreneur.
yes, third times entrepreneur, and I still love DOS. I love programming, but I'm not good in that. But this is how my journey started. So I can highly recommend every woman. You know, we don't have to be the Zuckerberg coders, but to understand how to build something. I was dreaming when I think it's 30 years ago when I started with coding. I was dreaming everything will be, I hated bookkeeping, I hated writing here. So I said, okay, I just put it on the scanner and the machine will do it. No, it's not the way. But I have started to understand, and I think with that, I also got a little bit more structured. And also, if you start a company as a woman, yeah, the engineers, they always will tell you, oh, that's not possible. But if you show at least a little bit knowledge how it works, yeah, I highly recommend, you know, if you don't do it for a profession, do it for yourself to get a little bit knowledge about coding, because it helps a lot in front of the guys to say, you know, I know how I can fix my computer. So highly recommend, and we have different ways to go into questions. You know, our request to the world, sometimes I don't say, I'm not a woman who said I want to be equal like a man. It would be a waste of every woman to become a man. So say women, stay and live with all your feelings as a woman, and also go into coding or starting your enterprise as a woman. Don't compete and start to say, I want to become like a man. That would not help us all. Stay as a woman, but learn and open up to everything what is in your mind. And if you love to work with the machine, with the computer, or start your business, do it as a woman, and you will succeed. I think on Monday we have an female entrepreneur roundtable, and I need your help, you know, to say where it is. It will be here and who will be invited. So if you are interested, just come after the session and let me know, so then, you know, we will be entre nous and can discuss how we will change the world. Okay, thanks.
So yeah, and just from my side, the question was, is Vietnam ready? I can tell you it's more than ready. I mean, just this shows. I mean, we have, I don't know how many women here, and totally go for it. I mean, absolutely. And I think what we actually decided to do on our flight here, which we haven't done yet for whatever reason, is a women entrepreneurs group. And the reason, well, actually, yeah, you're right. I know the reason. Marita, as you know, is an entrepreneur herself, and she doesn't want to have this female-male differentiation. She said, well, like she said, you know, we're the way we are, and the others. And like I said earlier, a startup is best built like the engineer and the business person, also very different characters, very different wiring in the brain. And I think we have not yet actually seen the full potential of female entrepreneurs at all. I mean, we've seen movies where women were powerful or were lovely or were, I mean, all kind of characteristics, but we haven't seen yet women entrepreneurs at its full potential. And if I take, you know, the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, I mean, she is a woman at its full potential. I mean, she rules Germany, half of Europe, and part of the world. And we'll see that from entrepreneurs as well. So congratulations for that position. So there was one more question, I believe?
One last one.
One last one.
Thank you very much for speaking today. I have a question. I have an idea, and I would like to sell to make my idea to sell my product to the customer. I want to make a website, and I would like. My question is how to minimize the first invest to my idea, to my website. I would like to have your idea, your advice, how to deal with other partner to minimize the initial investment.
Yeah, cool idea. I mean, cool question. And you should, everybody should. The worst thing an entrepreneur can do is trying to find outside investments and saying, I cannot start without that money, because that would mean you will never start. So minimize your investment, reduce it to the max. I don't know, can you handle a WordPress blog? Is that something you played with once?
I can.
WordPress is you'll find somebody who can help you with that. I mean, who can help him with WordPress setup? Just a website over here? Okay, cool. So anybody after the meeting, just talk to, what's your name?
My name is Nam.
No, okay. Talk to him, help him to set up a blog that he can actually, you can write probably with Microsoft Word or one of these products. Windows products? Okay. Are you able to handle Microsoft Word? Yeah, okay. Then you will be able to handle WordPress as well. And so somebody will tell you how to do that. Probably some others will help you with the content. Then somebody else will help you maybe with graphics. And so you get this up and running probably by end of next week. You have your site up. Somebody may need to help him with finding a domain, unless you have already one. You set up a domain, whatever .vn or .co.vn, and you have your website up and running in pretty much no time. That is what we're trying to do all day long. Somebody helping somebody else, investment zero, because people are helpful. They want to help you get up and running. For those who can work with, like WordPress or with a website, maybe it's 20 minutes or something like that. So it's not a huge waste of time for them. It's help for you. And if we can do this, all of us, I mean regularly, maybe you meet regularly every other week, and make nothing but who can help me with this and who can help me with that, you come enormously farther. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, we ran out of time, so that is the last question. So the last question will come from Silicon Innovation Hub. So all of them are very eager to change the world. So what should you advise them how to change the world? Where should we start to change the world? Like you.
Okay. So the first step to change the world is to think about what do you want it to change to. What is your ideal picture of that world? Now when you say, okay, we need to cover things like, purified water and help people in Africa and so on, that's one vision. The others may say, well, come on, let's start here in Vietnam and do this and that. We need to have more subways, even though you just learn, you just get a new one. Whatever it is, it will be different. And here probably 100 to 150 people, so that will be 100 to 150 ideas how the world will look like in 10 years from now in accordance to everybody's vision. Now, there are people saying, okay, send a wish to the universe and it will reflect back. Now, whether this works that way or not doesn't really matter. You can take any belief system to do that. But if 150 different visions about where Vietnam should be in the next 10 years, the likelihood that any of this is happening is very slim. Because, your idea is different, yours and yours. So out of 150, 149 ideas would not happen, but one. And that's also bad. So, but if you say, you know what, that would be a cool topic for a next meetup. What should Vietnam actually be in the next 10 years from your point of view? And then you stand up here and say, okay, I have 60 seconds, here's my idea. Vietnam should be this and this and that. And then you have a pin board and everybody gets 100 stickers. And the one with the most sticker is probably the most valid idea. And then you have to do one thing that I learned as a wonderful thing. You may not agree, but you will commit. Which means, well, you think your idea was better, but most of them have this idea. And if you can step beyond yourself and say, well, I step back with my idea and support this idea, to the point where most of you say, well, this is what we need. This is what we need to work on. And somebody says, okay, I built a website for this. Somebody else says, I built a product. Yet somebody else says, you know what? I'm good at selling. I never had a good technician. I'm actually selling your product. Somebody else says, I bring you to the stock exchange. You will be the first startup in Vietnam on the stock exchange. And you create this, economy system that already exists with your new ideas on top, and build an infrastructure, and you will look back in 10 years and say, can you believe? We're so close. It's probably a little bit different because there are many things that happen in between, but you come much closer to that goal. And why? Because it's in our brain, that's what we wanted, at least most of us, and then it will happen, because why should something else happen? If things that you don't want is happening, then only in a situation where somebody dictates what is happening, and if people realize that your full intention for the country does something right, there is no ruler in the world who would say, no, this is not going to happen, not in my country. Because people say, hey, it's cool. If you get the extra mile to do all that, then you can.
Okay, so last but not least, how to become a billionaire. How to become a billionaire.
Okay.
Like you.
So that is actually an very easy answer. First of all, you need to decide that this is not your goal in life ever, to become a billionaire, millionaire, or whatever. Step away from becoming a ... Wipe it out of your brain, part of the brain of your mindset, because it will lead you to misery. People who want to become millionaires, in most cases, probably 1 out of 1 million may be able to luckily reach the goal, but most likely not even 1 out of 1 million. It's not a goal. becoming rich is a response to what you're doing. And if you are getting together and say, for the country, we will build this, and somebody says, I do this and I do that, and your ideal becomes making Vietnam an even more prosperous country, even better, and include the government with it. I mean, there's no reason not to, whether you like it or not. I mean, you have to coexist always. And I mean, I've been through this many times, and I've realized over time, it's the best thing you can do is work with it instead of against. Then you come in 10 years back and say, you know what? The money I never cared from that moment on. We actually achieved something much greater than cash. Well, what's an extra nice side effect? You actually became a millionaire because of that. Because everybody else in this country said, you know, these guys, we need to support them. We need to buy the products. We need to do that. We need to do that. And so people think, you know, millionaires get millionaires because this is what they want. When he started Computer 2000, back in Germany, I met Bill Gates, who was at Microsoft, a tiny little company back then. I mean, he was a crazy guy. He was never his intention to become super rich, you know, let alone the richest man in the US or even in the world. And it never mattered to him. And what I have never really mattered to me too. And, you know, people say, I mean, you have everything you need. You cannot eat more than 2 steaks a day and so on. Why do you run around? I mean, look at your schedule. I mean, you're crazy. I mean, you're killing yourself, you know, from one Asian country to the next and do your pitches, and in the morning do this and in the afternoon do that. Well, that's my passion. And if I look back in 20 years, I hope I can look back and say, well, I at least inspired you somehow, just a tiny little bit. And if that's true, then I'm super happy. That's how you become a billionaire.
Thank you very much. So Axel will to my page, and you can follow on his work speech in Work Innovation Forum website or LinkedIn or Facebook, Twitter, and he's accessible. You can text him, messaging, and maybe you get the best advice from one of the best guys in the world who want to bring all the Silicon Valley back to Vietnam, back to Saigon. And once again, thank you very much.
I thank all of you. I thank you for doing this. I mean, this is for me the magic. I mean, we met, and here I come, and here's amazing people who are eager to learn, to see, to understand, to change, to whatever. I mean, this is extremely rewarding because it kind of tells me that we're not a total waste of time, so to speak. And so thanks a lot for everybody for coming and for inviting us and doing this for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There's the reform. I was looking if there's the URL, because it would be great also for female, male entrepreneurs if you would join us, because then we can continue also the conversation and just put in like today, you know, that is what I'm interested in. Yeah, I need help worldwide from other women, for example, in the women community, from other women worldwide, because we all have the same issues, the same problems. So let's come together. Thank you so much also from my side.
Thank you very much. Photo times. Okay, we stay here and people can take photos of you. We are the celebrities, the star of tonight. Except join us for our photo. Yeah, join us for photo section. Yeah, sure you can take. Sure you can join us.
Yes, I need to break.
Mọi người lên chụp hình với lại ông vào đây ta.
Young guy in front.